Hi, thanks for staying us on the show. Well, today we are talking about mental health, and earlier we've heard a lot from our two guests, Porsche and Harris. Now let's hear actually from somebody who suffers from bipolar disorder. I actually conducted this interview just this morning, and he has been through a lot and is now getting on very well with his life. So let's listen to his story.
To start off, you can tell us a little bit history about yourself, like how was your life before you were diagnosed, and how did you come to find out that you have this condition?
If you are talking about my lifestyle, I'm a smoker. I drink also, and I believe some part of me, that's my character. And I think the turning point is I met with quite a severe accident, and actually that turns my life around. And because of that accident, I suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, and the doctor again diagnosed me with depression, and I was finally diagnosed with bipolar disorder in end of 2000. Life I would say, was terrible, during that moment. I couldn't even bring myself out of the house for like 6 months. And thankfully my parents and my sister has been very supportive, and they are still very supportive until now. And of course there are sessions of counseling also. I'm also being medicated.
So how was the treatment process like, and are there any challenges that you have to overcome?
First is the side effects of the medication. I remember that my hands will tremble. You just feel, something is not right with your body, and you feel very lethargic.
Maybe you can explain briefly so that maybe viewers can understand what the condition is about. I mean, how does one get diagnosed? What are the symptoms?
It means that your emotion will actually go up and down, all right, periodically. Okay, and when you are up and when you are in the high mood, okay, you will actually have grandiose thoughts. Okay, and you will also spend a lot of money, all right, without you knowing also, and you may also think that you are somebody, for example, that you are the president, or you are someone very important. With that high mood, you will actually drop down to a low mood, because of some guilt, that is so-called being produced, from the high mood, or because of the consequence they have. I would say sometimes you have suicidal thoughts also, and that's these are the symptoms, and when you are really on your high, you just wouldn't want to let go, because it's a good feeling. And you will be so productive, but you know that you're not, and you usually stay up late at night, and you're watching TV, and you thought that the newscaster is talking to you about something, a secret code, So basically I live my life, on a high and also at a low during that period of time.
So how do you manage to cope with that? Like you said, the moods change and things like that. How does it affect your daily life?
I can't work. I can't work for sure. Friends surround me will think that I'm a bit weird. And they will start to distance away from you. And of course, with that, relationships will also suffer.
Do you think people treat you differently after they found out you have the condition?
Well, I would say there's a good mix of people who think that maybe I should stay away from you, or I should, it's okay, never mind. I've been blessed that, I'm with this group of like-minded people, that have share my ups and downs moments with me. And also I would say my employer, they have been also very encouraging, because when I declared my condition to them, I think knowing what had happened to me in the past and my previous testimonies, they are willing to accept me as their staff. to come this far, I'm being blessed. For those people who may not understand and have maybe doubts, making friends with me or some other mental health patients, I always tell myself that I will have to give them a little bit more time, right, to know more about this issue, right. Besides, this is so-called stigmatization. Hopefully, will win off. As the government steps in to actually educate the public about this illness.
Yeah, that's right. So I guess that's really quite a moving story of how he overcame all the odds.
Yeah.
All right, but I've heard of, during my interview with Siu Hong yesterday, he was mentioning that he knew of people who actually deliberately went without medication, not because of the negative side effects like trembling, as mentioned earlier, but because they really wanted to feel the highs. They were so addicted to the highs of bipolarity that they deliberately went without the medication. So, I don't know, have you come across patients like that?
Yeah, I've come across, and we warn them of the consequences. And after each relapse, they are scared and they start, taking their medication again.
It sounds like, if somebody suffers from who's like a bipolar patient, he also suffers from a little bit of hallucinations as well. Is that it?
Not all.
No?
Not all. It depends on individual. Yeah, the signs and symptoms varies actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, but basically, it all boils down to the fact that if you don't go on medication, if you stop your medication, something mental can lead to something physical, and the consequences may be irreversible. Is that it?
Yeah.
I think ultimately,
it's not medication alone. They need social support as well.
Right.
So, especially family members, they play a very important role. For example, Harriet has a very loving life. You see. So during our counseling sessions for the offender, they are usually accompanied by their family members, which is really good. They are the one who will motivate them to attend the counseling sessions regularly.
You recommend, but it's not mandatory, right? Maybe we should make that mandatory.
No. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's right. But maybe I guess there's always more that we can do to help. Or do you think like what's being done to help mental patients now is sufficient?
Always, that's not enough. Yeah, we are looking into it. Yeah, joining forces with all the other mental health organizations involving recovered patients as well, so that we understand what are their needs. Yeah, that's how we fill the gaps. Right?
Although the help is insufficient, but we can see very clearly, especially the government is doing a lot. They give 88 million, give another 35 million, 17 million every year. So things are getting better and better. But the thing is that the public need to be educated also. The government is aware, the authorities are aware, they are doing something. But the public must also do something. For example, in the case, go back to the case of the man who set the MP on fire. We saw the locks, 10 locks on the door. We saw him running here and there. Why is it that the public don't do something to help him? I'm not suggesting they walk up to him and tell him, you must take your medication now, or else you will create a disastrous act. No? What they're saying is that maybe you can, the people when they saw this type of thing, the public, if they are educated enough, they should call the correct authority to check on it. And maybe, if it's possible, don't feel bad, call the police, ask the police to help.
So it's okay to call the police?
It's okay to call the police, provided the police understand the situation. So the police is understood that the police knowledge of mental illness is also not very good. The way they handle may not very good. But police also need to be educated.
Right, that's true. And that point was actually raised by Siu Hong yesterday as well when I spoke to him. I mean, during the investigation process, police are not well equipped with the right knowledge on how to handle cases like that when they come across patients who might be potentially, suffering from some sort of mental issues.
For example, I have come across quite a number of cases, possible cases, whereby the caregiver called the police into the house to help. The police come and check. Well, there's no violence at that moment. They just walk off. Maybe you should investigate a little bit more into the background, what happened. And the intention is not to arrest them, but but to provide them with help, bring them to the hospital to be diagnosed, check upon, just bring them there. So there might be legal aspect. It's not very convenient to do, because you must write a report and so on. But I'm sure some way can be worked out. And then tragedy like what has happened, burning the MP, will not happen. We must take the early psychosis prevention measures. And the public plays a very important part, especially the neighbors and the caregiver. Caregiver always feel threatened. If I were to bring him to the hospital or bring someone ambulance to the hospital, he will curse me for the rest of his life. You mustn't feel that way. You bring him to the hospital, he might curse you for only 1 month only. After the treatment, he is well, provided the right counseling. He will thank you for the rest of your life. Who curses you for the rest of life? Right, that's what I feel.
Well said. Okay, now we'd like to thank our lovely guests for joining us tonight, all right? And Silver Ribbon would actually like to take this opportunity to inform you guys that mental illness is treatable and that not all people with mental illness are dangerous.
That's right. In fact, people with mental illnesses can also lead productive and fruitful lives as well.
So that's all we have for you here on Point Blank tonight. Thank you for staying with us. Good night.